Here's your rapid-fire US update, where the Iran war is colliding with American politics, court battles over tariffs, and a major cabinet shakeup. First, on Capitol Hill, President Donald Trump just survived a fresh attempt to limit his war powers. The US House narrowly voted down a war powers resolution that would have required congressional authorization for any further attacks on Iran. The vote was 219 to 212, and it follows the Senate rejecting a similar move a day earlier. Democrats argued the Constitution is clear. Only Congress can declare war, and presidents can only act alone in immediate self-defense. But Republicans backed Trump, saying he was responding to what they called an imminent threat. The House also passed a separate measure labeling Iran the world's largest state sponsor of terrorism. This all comes as the administration tries to build support for a war many Americans were already uneasy about, especially after 6 US service members were killed in a drone strike in Kuwait, with Trump warning more could die. And with insecurity rising, thousands of Americans in the region are scrambling for flights, flooding the congressional offices with calls for help. From there, the White House message is getting even more provocative. Trump says he wants a say on who becomes Iran's next supreme leader. He told Axios he opposes Mujtaba Khamenei, the son of the assassinated supreme leader Ali Khamenei, calling him a lightweight and insisting he has to be involved in the appointment. Trump says he wants an Iran leadership outcome similar to what he describes as the Venezuelan model, praising Delcy Rodriguez for keeping the state intact while accommodating US demands, especially around oil. Analysts argue this sounds less like liberation and more like pushing for Iranian surrender under a symbolic leader who aligns with Washington. But the reality is, Iran's system has its own rules. The next leader will be qualified religious scholar and is chosen by the 88-member Assembly of Experts. Even as Iran denies any negotiations with the US and the war continues. Next, Trump is openly entertaining integral pressure points too, including public support for a potential Kurdish offensive against Iran. Asked about the Kurdish rebellion, he said he's all for it. US media reports claim he contacted leaders in Iraq's semi-autonomous Kurdish region, though the White House says those calls were about the US base in northern Iraq, not back in an uprising. Iran is already responding. State media reported IRGC strikes on targets in Iraq's Kurdistan region aimed at what they call anti-Iran terrorist groups. The Kurdistan regional government condemned the strikes and denied any role in expanding the war. And despite all the talk from Washington, there have been no major protests inside Iran since the war began. Now to the economy. And another Trump fight is heading to court. A coalition of 24 states has filed the first legal challenge to Trump's new 10% global tariffs, arguing he was trying to sidestep a Supreme Court ruling that struck down most of his earlier tariffs. The states say Trump misused Section 122 of the Trade Act of 1974, a rarely used provision meant for short-term monetary emergencies, not routine trade deficits. Trump's team says the tariffs are needed to address serious balance of payments problems, and the White House says it will fight the lawsuit. Meanwhile, the court system is dealing with a flood of claims. Businesses are seeking refunds tied to the older tariff framework, and a judge has already indicated companies should be refunded under the previous rules. And Trump is signaling he is not done with foreign confrontations. At the White House, he renewed threats against Cuba, suggesting action there could come after the Iran war.
And your next one is going to be, we want to do that special Cuba. He's waiting, but he says, let's get this one finished first. We could do them all at the same time, but bad things happen. If you watch countries over the years, you do them all too fast, bad things happen. We're not going to let anything bad happen to this country.
While praising tighter sanctions and pointing to what he calls military success elsewhere, including Iran and Venezuela, as proof force gets results. Finally, there's a major personal move at home. Trump is replacing Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem. He says Noem will become a special envoy for a new Western Hemisphere security initiative called the Shield of the Americas. Her replacement at the DHS will be a Republican Senator Markwayne Mullin starting March 31st, the first big cabinet-level shakeup of Trump's second term. Noem exits after intense Democratic criticism in Congress over immigration enforcement, a costly border advertising campaign, and allegations of misconduct tied to fatal shootings involving immigration agents. Claims Noem has denied. Trump is framing Mullin as a tougher border enforcer, highlighting his Cherokee Nation membership and promising a hardline approach to border security and drugs. So tonight's big picture. Trump is consolidating power for the Iran war at home, taking heat in court over tariffs, widening his foreign policy threats, and reshuffling his security team, all at the same time.